shoot. Alright. Let's try to get this show on the road here. Alright, let's see if this works. Hoping this works. Okie dokie. Yeah, it seems to be working. Alright. So, yeah. We're here doing Assetto Corsa Evo. First impressions. Launch day. Oh shoot, I don't want to quit. We're just gonna do some driving. I just want to jump right in and see what we're getting into here. I've already seen a few other people do a little bit of this and a little bit of that. I was in random call sign stream a few minutes ago before I started playing myself, and initial first impressions are pretty good, I'd say. I did a few laps before I started the stream, so should be pretty good. I will say performance is not great. Performance is obviously not great for first day early access, but the driving itself is pretty good. It feels pretty good, at least. I changed some settings to try to make it feel a little bit more natural, but alright. Oh god. Are you kidding? Alright. Whoa. Alright. This feels a little odd to me, I'm not gonna lie. Penalty received. Go fuck yourself. So a few things I want to say about this. The driving feels good. It definitely feels like this car feels like a Golf, that's for sure. But I will say performance is not great. Performance is really not what I expected from Kunos, especially considering the amount of time they've had to cook this up. I mean, just look at this. It's not pretty to look at, I will tell you. And I'm running this at high settings, okay? But this isn't exactly, you know, some serious eye candy. You know? I mean, hell, I think we can, the things you can do on the original Assetto Corsa are, you know, it's not really a fair comparison to make at the moment, considering this has been out for less than an hour. But I did expect a little bit more eye candy coming from Kunos in this respect. I thought we would see a little bit more, but it's not bad. I mean, hell, there are worse things to look at, I'll give you that. Car just feels very responsive, though. Another bone of contention I guess I have with this is no race cars. I'm not quite sure whose taffy they're trying to pull here at Kunos, yeah, I'm not exactly sure whose taffy Kunos is trying to pull here with that, but that isn't cool in my opinion. I understand it's early access and all that jazz, but at least you could have at least given us something a little bit more exciting to drive than a fucking GTI, you know? Oh god. Oh. It's just little things like that that I guess are not really acceptable to me. considering the price of the game. It's $32, and you can't even drive the 992 Cup car for $32. I mean, come on, Kunos, what are we doing here? Quite literally hyped up those all the fastest cars you were showcasing in the trailers, and we can't even drive them? That's kind of funny. Okay, then. Yeah, 5 new cars for content drop 2, though, guys. Content drop 2. We'll look out for that after you waited fucking 10 years for this game. You know what I'm saying, man? But at least it's here. It's here. You don't have to buy it at this stage if you don't want to. I'm sure it's not really worth buying, but the only reason you're buying this is because you're an Assetto Corsa freak like myself, and I guess the driving is okay. As you can see, I'm doing decently fine here. The frame rate is not great. I mean, this needs some serious optimization. The pop-in is not good, and this is on an SSD like they said is mandatory, yet I'm still getting Gran Turismo 2 levels of pop-in here across the track, so I'm not... Like, look at that. You can literally see... I can see the track forming before my eyes, So... Definitely some serious mixed feelings about this. And look at the FPS drop, my man. I mean, jeez Louise. Oh, and I'm about to fuck this up again. Oh my gosh. So yeah. First impressions, driving is, it feels pretty good. I mean, these definitely feel like road cars, I will say that. Having the floatiness and sort of the boatiness, I guess, of a road car is definitely, you can feel it, You can feel that this thing is not very stiff. It feels like they've sorted out that clipping issue that a lot of the road cars in AC1 had, because I mean, this might just be a personal user experience thing, but most of the Kunos road cars, or just road car mods in general on AC, are pretty fucking dog shit to drive, because the clipping is just horrendous. I mean, you can't even enjoy driving road cars in AC, I feel like, unless you do something with the in-game gain settings, and I just can't really be fucking asked to change that. I don't feel like it. But yeah. And if anybody's watching this and you're commenting, I can't see it at the moment, so you'll have to bear with me. I'll have to throw up the YouTube stream on my other monitor really quick, but I would say I'm leaning more on the side of disappointment rather than joy here, but I mean, you can't really be too disappointed. It's early access. It is what it is. And you can only hope that it gets better, like with the original Assetto Corsa. Alright, can we try to make this corner this time? Yes. Ah. Okay. Well, we made the corner that time, barely, but you also have to remember I don't drive road cars, so I'm not really sure what the hell this thing's supposed to feel like anyways. But it does feel like the road detail feels nice, and the responsiveness of the car just feels really nice. Just a lot of performance issues. I mean, I'm playing the game, but not like the pop-in, the frame drops. That's gonna have to be addressed ASAP. Oh, of course. Like, I was expecting to drive the Ferrari Daytona today. I don't know why. Maybe it's because Kuno's fucking, marketed their whole game 20 fucking cars. I mean, am I not counting right, or are there not 20 cars in this game? I haven't even checked, so don't quote me on that, but it just seems like I'm missing something here. Cuz I didn't expect to be driving a damn GTI. Oh, stop. Ooh. The force feedback is not that heavy, I will say. It's rather tame. And this is me running it at 90% gain, 960-degree rotation, because that's what I prefer. And look at the frame drops. Holy macaroni. It's just, Alright, that was a much better start to this lap here. It's kind of like with these tiny little cars, slow is fast, you know what I mean? Because you can't really do anything with these things. Can't chuck it around. Wonder if there's like a sport mode or something for these cars. I mean, that would make it a little bit more interesting if we had the actual vehicle functionality, which I'm sure some of these cars do have, because they have, the you can do like the hazard lights and all those different things. So I mean, I don't know. Oh. Come on, let's try to set a reasonable time here for us, for this slow machine of ours. Stop. See, like, once you go down the main straight there, you fucking plummet down to, like, I don't even know, 10 FPS. I don't even know what the fuck that is. So, initial impressions, right? The game, driving wise, is solid. I'm sure they'll change things as we go. I mean, I don't expect this game to feel like this in September, assuming they stick to that, that's when they plan on doing the full release in September, according to Kunos. But I don't expect the game to feel the same, and I expect it to be better performance-wise, I hope. I mean, fuck. Can't get it right by then Jesus. I'm not trying to have an Escape from Tarkov type experience here. I'm trying to have an Assetto Corsa experience. But, to be fair, Assetto Corsa had its own hiccups, and Assetto Corsa itself wouldn't be what it is today without the modding community, which is another bone of contention with this title. But, and I'm using a lot of buts here because I'm trying to be fair. I don't think this game truly is trying to do what Assetto Corsa did, just with next generation physics models and stuff like that. I think Assetto Corsa Evo is just trying to be Assetto Corsa Evo, which is not a bad thing, considering that it is really a pain to get Assetto Corsa 1 to do the things that some of us are able to do on it. I mean, gosh, if someone were to ask me, right, how my Assetto Corsa is the way that it is, and how long it took me to set it up that way. And I mean, gosh, it took me at least 4 years, I would say, or probably a solid 2 or 3 years to get the game in a state that I am never going to change it from. And not everyone's going to have that kind of Assetto Corsa experience. Everybody's always sort of looking for their own, for like the next best thing on Assetto Corsa. But if you're lucky enough, you'll find those, PP filters or a reshade preset or something. You'll find something in Assetto Corsa that you'll get the game to make it look how you want. And this game isn't even close to that. But the modding situation is pretty concerning. I don't see why Kunos wouldn't have something similar to like BeamMG with their mod repository. I don't think it would be the worst idea, and it should be there, in my opinion. I will support modding no matter what. Some of the best mods on Assetto Corsa, or some of the best cars, I should say, are from modding teams on Assetto Corsa. That goes without a doubt. All the cars from RSS are just absolutely fantastic, and I just can't believe I saved that, even though I lost all the time. The best cars on Assetto Corsa are modded cars. I mean, at least the paid ones. And I'm strictly talking about Race Sim Studio and virtual racing cars, because those guys are the cream de la crop, or what, cream de la crop, however the hell you say that. Okay, they are the cream of the Assetto Corsa community. You want to talk about the most believable feeling cars? It's one thing to say these cars are accurate to the real thing, and I don't think a lot of us are ever going to know the answer to that, personally, because none of us, most of us, I won't say none of us, most of us are not in a position where we can go to Fiorano and just hop in an F1 2000 and say, oh yeah, this feels pretty similar to how it does on the sim, but in terms of believability, you can watch a lot of my onboards on my channel, and I do get comments sometimes saying how photorealistic it looks and whatnot, and part of that has to do with how believable the car feels to drive. You can mimic all those similar movements that you would see, on a old 2000 onboard. If you're watching the real thing, you can watch those and then mimic the real life movements in that car, and it'll perform pretty similarly. But you do have to know you have to understand what the car is telling you, of course. However, I don't think it would be fair for Kunos to shut out magnificent modding teams like RSS or race sims, or virtual racing cars. I think it would just be a shame to let people's talents go to waste, especially considering next generation physics, tire modeling. Got a bit of understeer there. I'm actually kind of ruining my own routine right now to do this first impression video or live stream, but I felt it was important to do something, or to give my thoughts on the game as a sim racer, first and foremost, and not someone who is a content creator. Content creation is sort of secondary for me. If you've watched my channel, because my channel doesn't really have much of a theme. It's just me uploading my onboards and my replays mostly, but it's like it's mostly a diary for me to come back to if I want to watch a good lap or two, and I like to share with you guys as well. But I did feel like I wanted to have a few words about Evo in particular, because for me this was going to go two ways. Either the game was going to launch spectacularly and it was going to be basically a flawless launch, or it was going to be, you know, what we have at the moment, which is not great, but it's not terrible. I wasn't of the mind that this was going to launch like Cyberpunk 2077, if you guys catch my drift. I expected the game to work, but I did expect, you know, these sorts of hiccups that we're seeing in the game right now. Yeah, I expected to see that, and I don't think anyone else should be too surprised either. Gotta remember that Kunos has to build this game engine to accommodate for a lot of different systems and a lot of different pieces of hardware. And this is where we're about to lose all our FPS here. So we're pretty much finding time all over the circuit, but I just can't get a feel for this car. Oh, alright. Okay. That's enough for this car, I would say. Okay, let's try another car. Alright, so let's go back to the main menu. Let's try to pick out another car. I'm just disappointed with the selection here, I guess. I mean, this is not exciting at all. This is not something that gets my dick hard, as the expression goes. I mean, seriously, what is this, guys? What is this, Kunos? They said 20 cars. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. So we have 14 cars, and I'm missing 6 of them. Interesting, Kunos. And let's just try, okay. So I'll give them the benefit of the doubt. Special events? Nothing. Academy? Blacked out. Grayed out. What academy? You're tripping. Vehicles. Dealership. Customized vehicle? Forget about it. Okay. So, I think it's fair to say, right, that Kunos is probably taking the fucking piss. Because this isn't, I mean, like, this is disappointing. Like, what? Who's gonna want to drive these cars for more than 20 minutes? That's what I'm trying to say here. If I had a Ferrari Daytona or a Porsche 992 Cup, I could probably drive for an hour or two, but there's no reason to. There's no reason to race these cars. And on top of it, I got an upset stomach. It's just strange. It's just a really strange decision from Kunos. to not include things that were anticipated from the get-go. It's like, don't you wouldn't you all have wanted to drive the 992 Cup right off rip? Because I wanted to do that. All right. Anyways, all right. Let's drive for a few more minutes, and that's probably gonna wrap it up for me. Because there isn't much else to say. To be fair, it's just disappointing. I guess we'll try out this Ford. You can't customize it. Scene options, what's this? Oh, nice. Okay, well, yeah. At least they made sure to have a decent scenery, right? But God forbid they let you drive the cars, the supercars, or something different, you know? Sheesh, man. Alright, let's try Laguna Seca. We'll try out Laguna Seca, and I guess I'm gonna wrap up my first impression stream here, because this is pretty fucking disappointing. Vehicle setup, okay, we can mess around with some things. No, we can't. Fuel, tire compound, what does that say? Supercar? Oh, nice, okay. I wonder, how does that work? Wonder what that makes the car feel like. Okay, take it easy, game. Jesus. Oh god, I don't know if I'm even gonna make it, lads. I've got quite a upset stomach. But see, look at that. You've got problems with the UI frame rate too. I mean, that is just horrific, man. Let's see how this car handles on Laguna Seca. Oh, this feels nice. Definitely doesn't handle like the other car. The other car definitely felt like it was front wheel drive. This feels much more natural. Not even sure what car I'm driving. I know it's a Ford, but I don't know what the fuck I'm driving. Never been much of a Ford guy. I mean, yeah, it's Assetto Corsa. I will say the driving part of this is a lot better than AC1. I mean, what I will say about Assetto Corsa 1 is, even though it does lend itself to a pretty decent amount of authenticity, I would say it's definitely a great racing simulator. You definitely have to fill in the gaps in your mind a lot when it comes to the handling and the physics with certain cars, I would say. I mean, if you know what I'm talking about, it's easier to do with the cars that are more realistic feeling, the ones that are supposed to be as, you know, real feeling as possible. You can kind of you make up for it in your mind what it's supposed to feel like, or what you think it's supposed to feel like. And in this, you don't have to do that at all, because it just you're just focused on the driving. It feels that good. Like, I don't have to think about simulating some thing in my head. Like, I can feel everything. I can feel the road, I can feel the bumps, I can feel the way the car's moving. which is good. A lot of people say the corkscrew, they always mess up the corkscrew. I never know why. It's not that hard of a corner. Just let the tarmac do the work at the corkscrew and you'll be fine. Let it pull you where it wants to pull you. That's all you need to worry about. So, Lapa Laguna Seca. The tracks feel great in terms of the road surface and everything. This is superb. But like I said, you know, it's those performance issues that they need to get over that hump. And I think the UI, I think like the accessibility is still not there in the menus. You know, they need to clean up those menus, man. And they need to have some sort of presets for multiple different wheel brands like Moza and Fanatec and all the rest of them. You know, it's just looking through all the settings, it's too much of a pain. Unless you really, are, pretty savvy with those kind of controls. Setting up those controls. I'm not. So that's how I feel about it. I just think it's way too much. It's not enough accessibility in terms of setting up the wheel or the pedals or anything like that. Like I had to just to figure out how to invert my pedals, for crying out loud, was a bit of a fucking chore. So it's little things like that could be better. Kunos. You know, you can't assume that everyone is just coming from Assetto Corsa and knows how to use it like we used Content Manager for 10 years, you know, and I would go as far to say that Content Manager is even easier still than, trying to navigate AC Evo menus. So there's that. So yeah. And right now we're using I don't have an H pattern gear shifter or anything like that, so I'm using automatic clutch and just my paddle shifters. I'm not bothered with the clutch and any of that bullshit right now. It's really fucking pointless. And curbs feel nice. They don't feel like they did in ACC, that's for sure. Which is a good thing. Some people just don't know how to take the curbs, though, which is kind of funny. Oh, car's pulling. Oh! No, the sliding feels a lot better. It feels like the cars actually carry momentum as opposed to the first game where you'd be in the middle of a slide like that and you'd just fucking come to a stop for whatever reason. Like at least the car continues moving forward or moving in the direction when it's in a slide here. It's like before the cars just, you'd be in the middle of a slide and then you're like, I don't even know how to describe it properly. It's just not a correct feeling thing. So, verdict of Assetto Corsa Evo. Uh, yeah, that's how I fucking feel about it. Um, rough, I would say. I guess is the best word. Rough. This is still pretty rough around the edges, but it is an early access, so it's not fair to, there's that caveat, you can't. It's rough, but it'll get better. That's is my prediction. I mean, it has to, right? Fuck. If it doesn't get better from here, what the fuck did we spend money for? But, knowing Kunos, they have produced magic before, and I hope they're capable of doing it again. And here I was thinking they were going to put an open wheeler in the fucking game. They didn't even put a race car in the game, for crying out loud. Fuck me, lads. So, anybody thinking that Assetto Corsa is dead because of AC Evo, I think you need to go get a lobotomy, at least for now, because there is simply not enough of a reason to fully switch over. I mean, there is really no reason to switch at this point. I would treat it as if AC Evo isn't even out still at this stage, because we are, like all of my degenerate friends like to say, we are so early, bruv. We are so early that it's early. Okay, a little slide there. A little slidey. Yeah, the force feedback though is not that intense. I mean, it's really not what I expected, to be honest with you. It's taking a lot to get used to this, and this might require some changes on my end to make this feel the way I'm used to, but this, it could just be these particular cars, the way that they feel, because they are all road cars. Look at the textures, though. The texture fucking pop. Look at the way that shit. It's almost like the road turns to clay. Okay, another previous best in a slow Ford. I feel like Jackie Stewart in a Ford commercial. And somehow I'm still slower through here because this car is just dog shit. I mean, look how slow this thing is, dude. It's just absolutely horrendously slow. I'm gonna go off. Yeah, I knew it. Alright. Look, we're just gonna cruise back to the pits here, because I gotta tell you guys, this is not that fun. I have to utter those words. At the moment. I feel like the fun will come soon, but it's not here. If you were looking to have some fun on AC Evo, my friends, today is not that day. Unless you really do like driving these kinds of cars, which then you'll have a great time. I mean, you're probably having more fun than me right now, that's for fucking sure. But I'm just happy to own the game, and I'm happy to see what the future brings for the game. And yeah, that's really all I have to. Oh shit! How could I have forgotten where I was headed? Oh, that feels nice. That feels realistic. All right. I'm curious to see if the replay cameras work. I mean, let's check it out. Okay, they work. Or how do they look though? I mean, they look okay. No, they kind of remind me of the. They kind of remind me of cam tool cameras, which are. I mean, if you're not using cam tool on Assetto Corsa 1, please, please, please use cam tool. I'm begging you. It's just simply a better replay experience for yourself and for your viewers if you're a content creator. Okie dokie. So yeah. So, for initial impressions, guys, performance is rough, driving is great, or the feeling of driving is great. The content is severely lacking, severely. And the accessibility is not great in terms of setting up your wheel and your pedals and your binds and all your functionality. That's not great either. There are no missions from what I can tell at the moment. There's no driving academy available, so this is a very bare bones build of Assetto Corsa Evo. So be warned if you are debating buying it today, what you see is what you get. Capiche? That's a pretty simple thing to understand, right? I mean, but they give you a roadmap as soon as you boot up the game, and supposedly the next content drop is not too far off, so give it maybe a few weeks or a month, I would say. I mean, I would be surprised if we go into February without some race cars. And I could be wrong. I could be wrong about no race cars being in the game or no supercars or whatever. But I counted 14 cars. That's all I have to say about that. So yeah. Cruised around in the Ford. We cruised around in the GTI. And I think the Hyundai. But there's just no reason to be on here right now. This is bullshit. The road cars look better. They look better in the replays on this game though, for sure. They look more alive, which is a very good thing. Because in the last game, they just didn't seem to move around or anything like that. They seemed very static. But now you can see the car just bouncing around and all the suspension and all that. It looks great. Just sort out the performance and the content, and we're golden. We're golden. I haven't tried this view yet. Do the F6 cameras work? No, they don't. Okay, so that just should give you a pretty, clear indication where we are right now. I'm gonna try this camera just for a second here, but I'm pretty much gonna wrap up the stream here because I've got to go do some stuff myself out in the real, but I mean, I will be back playing the game. Oh, my stomach. Ooh, lads. I don't think I'm gonna survive. Alright, so, oh, interesting. This view here, I must say, with my setup the way that it is, this is nice, man. This feels very, very real. Oh wow, this feels much nicer, this setup here. It's like I'm fooling myself with the way my screen and my wheelbase looks here. It's perfectly lined up with the dash here. This is gnarly, man. Feels like I'm driving a real car. This car has like no torque. Probably has like freaking 150 horsepower or something stupid. Come on, that's in the corner cutting my ass. And if this next one doesn't count, that's bullshit. Okay, we're up a little bit here. Can try to just go balls to the walls and find some time everywhere and go fast as I can in this view here. Did that part of the track just disappear next to me, or am I tripping, man? Like, that's what I'm talking about. That stuff needs to be fixed, and I'm sure it will be, but that shouldn't be happening at all. Alright, so we're down now. We lost all our time. Try to find it somewhere else. And we just lost it all again. Okay, well, to be fair, I'm driving a fucking absolute piece of shit car here, okay? I'm sorry if you like this Ford. I don't even know what the hell the name of it is. But, unless you're Jackie Stewart, I doubt anybody has an affinity for this car. Alright, that's much better. Santa Maria. And we're losing time. See, look at the track, though. You guys see that? That is just horrible. Alright, we just lost all our time. Alright. That's probably gonna do it for me. There's just no reason to continue. There's nothing more to learn here or say. I've said what I needed to say. If you really want to watch the whole thing, you can go to the beginning of the stream because it'll be here. But yeah, I think that's going to be it for me. For now, I'll come back in a few hours and we'll stream some more. But yeah, that's Assetto Corsa Evo first impressions by yours truly. I'll catch you guys in a little bit. Hope you guys enjoyed the review, the somewhat impromptu review, and I'll catch you guys in the next stream, and we'll go over some more detailed things the more I come across. So, take it easy, guys. Later.